Okay, Cameron, what are we doing today?
So I was thinking that we could do the Premier League predictions today. New season's coming up, and there's a lot of debate over what could be top six, top seven.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfectly sound idea to me. Good stuff, alright. Where do you want to start then, bottom or top?
Always a fan of the bottom, you know. Bottom, no surprises. I've put Bournemouth. I've put Brentford in 19th, Nottingham Forest 18th, and then just outside, sort of Fulham and Leeds, who can hang on by the skin of their teeth, I'm believing.
Okay, you think like fine margins will be the reason that those two survive, whereas Forest won't, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I think Forest are gone, sadly.
Alright, well, yeah, I mean, mine are not too dissimilar to those picks, although there is one major, shall we say, controversial take that I have. In 20th, I have also gone for Bournemouth. Leeds, I've put in 19th, which is, I know, a bit of a mad one.
Ooh, you're hard.
And then in 18th, I've gone with Forest. And I was, like you, really deliberating whether or not it would be Forest or Fulham. In the end, I came out with Forest in 18. Just, I think they're going to... They were a counter-attacking side last year. I don't think that's going to translate well to the Premier League, but we'll see.
Fulham have just got more goals in them as well, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. Mitrovic was on fire last year. He's usually, he doesn't do too well in the Premier League, but I'm backing him to break that trend, I think.
Yeah, me too. Bournemouth bottom's just a given at this point, isn't it? Like, there's just no other team that's going to be worse at this point, I think. Like, a lot of teams survive. Like, I believe Fulham survive just because there is three teams that are going to be worse.
Rather than them being too good, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've put Brentford down. Obviously, losing Eriksen's a big miss. They've signed a few people. New keeper will be decent, but David Raya wasn't their problem last season, so
no,
they're missing that sort of like creative player. I know they've brought in that boy from Hull who will try to fill the gap, but you're talking about someone that's world class leading a team, and I feel like the goals will dry up a wee bit. Also, second season syndrome. Obviously, it happened to Sheffield United when they got relegated. And it almost happened to Leeds again. Obviously, they finished like 9th and then dodged up in the last day of the season. So, I think Brentford might be gone here.
That's definitely a spicy one. I would say that's just as spicy as my Leeds take, to be honest. But I would also say that I'm more impressed with what Brentford have done in terms of signings or in terms of recalls, because they've called back De Silva, who didn't do well last season, but before was one of their players of the season. And I think we could see that form come to the fray again. Aaron Hickey as well has been signed. It's a bit of an unknown quality. He did well in the Scottish League, but it's the Scottish League, so who knows if that will translate. And Ivan Toney, I think, is good enough to keep this team out of the jaws of defeat, the jaws of relegation, personally.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I do like Toney. I think he's a good scorer and what he could be, a 20 goal a season man for a bigger team. But when they aren't going to be creating as many chances as last year, it's just going to be a bit tough, and he might have to rely on penalties for a wee bit.
Yeah, I get you. How is he going to reach that 20 goal a season potential when he's got no one feeding him the ball really creatively?
Yeah, I mean, Mbeumo will have to make a big step up, but I don't know if it's in him to make the jump up. And like I say, they've not really made the high level stand-ins. Whereas, like, if I'm looking at yours and I'm seeing Leeds, I say that Leeds have made like the signings of Luis Sinisterra, who's like a very creative attacking winger, and obviously they've lost Calvin Phillips, so the signings of like Mark Rocca and Tyler Adams are going to help fill the gap, whereas like I don't see those high level signings coming from Brentford to help them in missing Eriksen. So
help to fill the gap they may, but do you think they have enough to truly fill that void? Because last season, with the incredible talent of Rafinha and Calvin Phillips in their team, they just managed to sneak to safety. Do you not think that the loss of those two great players, I think Rafinha is potentially world class, one of the best wingers in the world he could become, do you think that they have done enough to fill those voids? Because I'm not so sure.
I'm not 100% either. They obviously do. They are missing two big players. Like, we're talking about players that are Man City level in the standard of which they were playing at, but it was the rest of the team kind of dragging them down.
Okay.
Patrick Bamford only got about 550 minutes last season, which is about 5 games worth of time. Scoring 2 goals, assisting twice. So he was definitely going to be a big miss. And his backup, was it Gelhardt?
Gelhardt, yeah.
In his time playing, he scored twice. So it was the lack of goals, I think, that almost knackered them. And Rafinha could only do so much from that right wing position.
Yeah, I mean,
So
sure, they definitely missed Bamford, 100%.
yeah, Bamford's back. If Bamford's back, they're going to be a better team than what they were last season without Rafinha.
And do you think that Jesse Marsch's influence will mean that they'll be sturdier from the get-go this season? They won't lose so much of a ground, so much ground at the early stages of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they'd be better off in the position, but what I think you'll find is they'll be more consistent. Marcelo Bielsa's team was happily going out and getting battered 5-0, 6-0.
But it looked beautiful. It was fun to watch. That's all that matters, right?
It's fun to watch if you were the one slapping them up.
Yeah, I enjoyed those
Well,
games as an Arsenal fan, personally. I enjoyed those games.
I mean, I was saying this before. In the last 5 games of Bielsa's reign, they did concede 20 goals in those last 5 games.
What do you mean? That's
Really so
airtight.
much.
That's great. More of the same, please.
Really
More of the
so
same.
So I think Jesse Marsch will lose those games as well, but I don't think it'll be as tight.
Okay.
I think it'll be more tight, sorry, not as tight.
I don't personally think that Brentford will be in the discussion for it, but certainly with Fulham, Forest and Leeds, I think I kind of change in my mind who I think is going to be the teams to go down of those 3. I don't. Who's going to survive that? I'm not quite sure right now, but time will tell. All right, we're going to go on to talk about the top end of the table in a second, but I think you think it would be interesting. You did express an interest in this, so I want to just make sure that you're okay with it again. Shall we add some stakes to these tables to see, whoever comes out on top at the end of the season, whoever's most accurate with their tables? Could there be some sort of forfeit involved for the loser? What do you think?
Yeah, so we had a chat behind the scenes, obviously out of video, about these to get them ready for this context. And we said, is there a forfeit? Is there a prize? So at the end of the season, we will look back at these lists and see who was closer.
Yeah, we'll do a similar sort of point system to Spencer Owen, who's done some things like this before. We'll look at things like that and see if we can get an overall tally of who's done better based on how close they were with their predictions and go from there.
Yeah, so if one of your teams is one position out of your guess, it's 1 point, 2 positions, 2 points, and then it's like golf, lower score wins.
Exactly. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, that seems good. What did we agree on? Was it a football shirt of your choice?
I think that was your idea. I hadn't actually agreed to it, but now that you've said it again, I like the idea, and I think we should go for that one.
Yeah, so if you wanted, I will happily buy you an Aston Villa kit.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say an Arsenal kit, but fair. I would take a Villa kit.
Even as an Arsenal fan, you wouldn't want that. That's fine.
Get Gerrard's name on the back. No, that's what you should do. If I lose, I should have to get a Gerrard kit.
That's fine.
Just to rub it in one more
it.
time since losing the 10.
I'll buy you a Rangers kit. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's more fun. We should do it that the loser has to. The winner chooses a kit for the other person to have, and they have to wear it in videos or something.
Like Gabriel Jesus Arsenal top. Is that one again?
I mean, I'm not saying no.
A Granite Xhaka Arsenal top.
Oh, wait, is that for you or for me? Who hates that more?
Which one's a punishment?
Oh, very good.
I don't think I could get worse than like an Arsenal kit with like Theo Walcott on the back. I would just be too much.
I think you could have it so you can have an image of him what did he do? Did he held the scoreline up as he was going off on a stretcher to your fan base?
It was like,
I'll get that
yeah,
printed
it's like
onto
an
the
FA
shirt.
Cup game.
Aye, good times.
Just on the back.
All right, so that is our relegation. Those are our relegation thoughts for the season ahead. We will throw up now, just so you guys can get a sense of the full scope of our tables. We'll put them up on the screen so you can see our full 20th to 8th places, because we're going to have a discussion now about the top 7, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll go for European places. Obviously 7th now gets Europa Conference League, and then we'll just quickly talk about who you've chucked 9th and 8th. Just missing out on those European spots.
Yeah, cool. Shall I go first on this one?
Yeah, so just run us from 9th and we'll go up to 5th for the time being, I think.
All right. So with this 9th position, I did have to wrestle a bit with my thoughts because I wasn't sure between Brighton or Villa who I wanted to put here. But in the end, I did go with Aston Villa in 9th. I went with Wolves in 8th, West Ham in 7th. Did you want 6th as well?
Yeah, go 6th and 5th.
Right. I put, as much as it hurt, I put Arsenal in 6th to finish one place behind where they were last season, and Man United to get into that 5th spot.
Yeah. Okay, so I've gone for Leicester 9th, Villa 8th, West Ham 7th, Arsenal 6th like yourself, and Man United 5th.
Okay, not too dissimilar then.
No, you've kept Brighton quite high, which is quite surprising. You'll find out later in the video where I have placed them. Obviously not within the top 10, but
yeah.
I just feel like they haven't strengthened enough since losing their big players, or big player, to be fair.
I think I might fight you on that
player.
one. I think I might fight you on that one.
In what sense?
Well, they've just signed the chap. What was his name? The striker they've signed, Umeva? What was his name?
Undav. He came back from a loan spell in Belgium where he was league top goal scorer.
Yeah, and I know it's the Belgian league, but we've seen in pre-season so far he's been fairly decent. He scored the other night in a 4-1 victory. Maybe it was the other day, I can't remember, but I saw it in the evening. Scored in a 4-1 victory, and he looks to be quite a threat, I have to say. So I'm interested to see him along with Mopé. It could prove to be a decent, whether it's a partnership or a rotation scenario. It could be a decent one, I think.
Yeah.
If Cucurella leaves,
yeah.
If Cucurella leaves, then I might revise my thoughts in terms of their position in this table. I'm not too sure about that one.
And what about the end of Yves Bissouma? Do you think they can cope without him? Do you think Mbeumo will step up?
I think he's a massive loss. I think the price that you guys that Tottenham signed him for is kind of ridiculous. I thought it was a steal. I was surprised that other teams in the league weren't truly throwing their hat into the ring with serious offers. And I think in the end, Brighton will be stung by losing him. But Potter, I think, is good enough to work around that void, perhaps in a way that Marsh isn't. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. You did see him. He was sort of the ball-winning, attack, ball-carrying sort of midfielder, box-to-box sort of thing. So if you could maybe find someone with better defensive outputs and bring in an attacking player who'll maybe contribute more as well, could play a double pivot instead, you could see a lot more action from them. But like you say, it's never going to be easy to lose a main man, is it? No,
100%. And he was, make no mistake about it, he was a main man. So we'll have to see how they cope. I'm backing them to do well, though.
That's fine. So 7th, have we both gone for West Ham then?
We have both gone for West Ham. It just felt like a logical continuation of what we've seen.
Yeah, a bit of best of the rest sort of situation at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I've not seen much through the door from them. I know they have made the signing of Areola permanent, and they brought in an attacking midfielder, a defender from, let me find out, Rennes on a 5-year deal. His name is Nayef Aguerd. He's a Moroccan international. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know very much about that guy, but I don't think that signings for me are really a factor in determining where West Ham finish. Now, if they want to push into top 6, then I would need to look at that. But as you said,
Yeah.
in terms of best of the rest, they've got enough already, I think, to place them firmly in that 7th place spot at least.
Yeah, and they'll still be keeping Declan Rice at this point in the season, I guess.
I can't understand
untouchable
how.
David Moyes deems him so untouchable.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's done a great job over the full body of his career at West Ham. I think it left a lot of people shocked, myself included, after what seemed like a fall from grace with his move to Man United. But I think in hindsight, you can look back and say anyone would have struggled after Sir Alex left with the team that he left behind and somehow managed to win a league with. But ridiculous, just proves to show his quality.
Yeah, well, I'm not as big as fan, but you do see his high quality of work when given time. Obviously took over West Ham when they were probably close to relegation at the time. He took over just as they moved into the Olympic Stadium.
I remember. Ridiculous.
And he's brought them up to 7th. Not too long ago we were talking about Everton being up there. When he was managing them, just before he got the United job, they were up and around 7th, 8th with Everton, and Fellaini was scoring every week.
Yeah. And of course, I'll be keeping a close eye on Jared Bowen and how he performs this season. Last season with his 12 goals, 10 assists career high. It'll be interesting to see if he can carry on that form. Personally, I'm leaning on the side of that being a bit of a one-off and not being something he can replicate. But if he does, fair enough. Hats off to him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps those numbers up and the rest of the team can help chip in with what they've got, then they could be pushing for that 6th spot.
Yeah,
breaking into the top 6.
And then you'll see the mark of a true contender, a team that means business. They've done well to keep Rice this far, but if they can continue to be as consistent with Bowen and with Rice performing as well as they have done, if they can hold on to both of those guys next season again, it'll be...
Yeah.
You'll see how much they really believe in this project, won't you?
Yeah. The team is solely based around Declan Rice, and at this point he's got 2 years left on his contract, so if they don't push on this season, don't get Europa League, don't push on, maybe like a strong push for Champions League like they were kind of expected to do last season.
Yeah.
He'll have 1 year left on his deal. That 100 million that David Moyes is asking for, or 150 he wants, isn't it? So
stupid.
That'll fall to about 60 next season. So
it will definitely
really
see a
worth keeping
plummet.
him an extra year. He's keeping him an extra year at the cost of about 40 million. So will it be beneficial? Because he still is only, what is he, 23?
Ridiculously young, yeah. Plenty of years left, not even approaching a prime yet, and yet he appears like he's already playing in it, which is just stupid.
Ridiculous player.
So, that is West Ham getting that Conference League place. Going into the Europa League places, we have both gone for Arsenal in 6th place.
Yeah.
This one hurt. This one did hurt. I think the difference that... I think Arsenal have improved as a team. 100%.
Yes.
The signings they've made have improved the squad. Letting go of Lacazette is as much of a great team player as he was in the middle area of last season, where he got something stupid like 8 assists in 10 games or something dumb, while only managing to score maybe 1 penalty against Leicester, I think it was. Replacing him with Jesus it's a good move. I don't think it's a good enough transfer. It's a good enough signing to really make them a threat for top 4, unfortunately. Not with Conte having more time with the team, not with Chelsea strengthening their squads, and not with Man United stabling their ship, which I think we're going to see this season, and is something that's vital to see that Man United do improve and progress in the manner that they would hope to.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal have made moves. They're still talking about more transfers as well, and this has got me thinking a lot more recently as well. Like, we wrote these lists a couple of days ago, and since that news of Ronaldo kicking up fuss and wanting to leave, I mean, there was that article where he was spotted at the Sporting Lisbon training ground recently as well,
which he called fake. But I don't know, it'd be very impressive Photoshop capabilities to be able to fake that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is a big car with what is meant to be a private plate on it. At his old club. Can you hear that? Yeah, I mean, it does look hard to fake that sort of picture, and I know he's came out in the news recently saying that it is fake. But you can actually see that move happening. You know what he's like. He wants to play Champions League football. Sporting Lisbon are just off the back of finishing second in the league, I believe. So they are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Porto almost went undefeated in that league. So Sporting Lisbon came second, but that'd be a good return home for him. I think it was a transfer that was always bound to happen. Like Gareth Bale back to Tottenham sort of transfer. It's just kind of written in the stars at some point.
Maybe so, but where are these wages coming from? Are Man United happy to still pay his astronomical wages while he goes and plays in the Champions League with Sporting Lisbon?
Yeah, possibly. There could be a good 50% split just to get him off the wage book. But if he does go and they don't replace him, Cavani's obviously gone. This just leaves Martial.
Yeah.
Or Rashford up front.
We
know that's not Rashford's preferred position.
Yeah.
Martial's been out of favour recently, so if that does happen, my prediction could be swapping with Arsenal coming fifth.
Maybe.
The signings of Eriksen, I mean, I've just sat here and spoke about Brentford getting relegated, so my opinion on Eriksen is very clear.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that if he's in that City team, he gets as high praise as Kevin De Bruyne, I think.
I don't think that's the ludicrous thing to say, no.
No, I think that when Eriksen was at Tottenham, these two, De Bruyne and Eriksen, were both heavily compared, and the numbers were a lot closer back then as well.
They were competing, weren't they?
I don't think that's too bad.
So for me, the positioning that Arsenal will find themselves in at the end of the season will largely be dependent on the performance of the main Brazilian boys. I include Gabriel in that trio, but maybe to a lesser extent than I do Martinelli and Jesus. I feel like Martinelli could really come into his own this season. We could see, because I think he's already shown glimpses of that potential that he seems to have, but we could see it to an even greater extent this season. Similarly to how Saka had that sort of that season where he really announced himself last year, I'd say. I think we could see it from Martinelli this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Martinelli's looking dangerous as ever.
Mm.
If not only if he starts, he's always looking deadly when he's able to come off the bench and hurt you as well. So even if you had to sign someone who was more in prime, he's still dangerous from when he can come off the bench. So he's never going to be quiet. But I do feel like Gabriel Jesus needs to hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 8 or 9 goals last season. I know 4 came in one game.
Yeah.
So depending on how quickly he can start and get going, can depend on when or where you finish.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We have seen Jesus start strongly in pre-season, but it's pre-season. He scored against Everton, who aren't exactly a great side, and he scored a brace against a second-tier German side that's probably a similar quality to your League One, top half League One table, half League One table team. You know,
sort of Stoke type of team.
Yeah. It's not too impressive, but the goals were, they showed a hunger, an instinctual ability to be in the right place and to finish when needed, and that's something that Arsenal lacked last season. So maybe I'm apprehensive about the signing. I don't think he's good enough to really catapult us to a top 4 position, but he's better than what we had, so in that sense I guess I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that all leaves now is just your top four decisions.
Yeah, just really quick before we get into that, I also want to mention Saka. I think if Saka can continue what he did last year, then I'll be extremely impressed with where we're set up for the future. But yes, anyway, I didn't want to go through an Arsenal discussion without talking about Saka. That's all. Into the top 4.
Impossible.
It is impossible. He's the main man. He's a star boy. He's a talismanic figure, isn't he?
It's like going through a Tottenham video without mentioning Son. It's impossible.
Yeah, you'd have people up in arms about that if you did that. So I just wanted to make sure I got that little word in, you know.
That's fair. No, fair.
Okay, going into the top 4 though. I think we're probably not too dissimilar, though we might differ in some regard, because I'm expecting a much improved Conte-led Tottenham this season. and I'm sure you are too as a Tottenham fan, but I don't know if you are to the extent that I am, because I have gone for Chelsea in 4th and Tottenham in 3rd. What have you done in those two positions?
I've gone for Tottenham 4th, and I've gone for Liverpool 3rd.
Okay. Liverpool 3rd. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Right.
Tottenham, first off, great signings. That's 6 through the door, I believe, at this moment in time.
Probably going to end up with like 9 as well.
Possibly. We've got Perisic, Foster, Richarlison, Bissouma, Longley, and Fraser Foster. It's a long list so far. It's about 100 million for everyone so far.
We're all spending big, aren't we, this season? Oof.
I put 6 in there because I think there was a lot of leaked pictures coming around Instagram and Twitter of Jed Spence. He's like been pictured in the kits, he's been pictured in his interviews. It's all but confirmed, I think, as well. And for people that might be confused as well, Christian Romero, his loan deal was up back in June as well. June 30th was when he was meant to return to Atlanta, but nothing's been said yet. I think Fabrizio Romano did confirm that they're holding on to that information for like a rainy day.
All right. Wait, who's holding on to that information? Atlanta?
No, Tottenham.
I thought. All right.
So when we signed him last summer, it was like loan deal for a year, and then it was a £40 million buy-on at the end.
Right. Okay.
So it's done apparently. I mean, he's been taken to pre-season games.
Yeah.
So far, he's been taken and he's been.
Oh, hiya.
He's been taken to a pre-season game. So he's been playing past his contract. So I think it's understandably bought but not announced for some reason.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because I've not really seen anything about his. No one's like saying, "Oh, Romero, how's he still at the club?" I assumed it was done already. Yeah. But yeah, I don't recall any sort of announcement.
Yeah, he's been given his new number as well. He's been given his favourite. He's gone from 4 to 17.
What?
He chose it.
He chose.
He
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he picks 17 wherever he goes.
What's the significance behind that? Do you know?
No, I don't actually. But apart from that, I mean, a lot of people were criticising Richarlison signing. I think it's quite good. At the time as well, we're looking at Memphis Depay, I think. I think this is just good players, obviously not at the same level as Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And but they're great bench options and quality depth as well. Kulusevski was on fire as always. He's still on loan for another year before we can make it permanent next summer.
Yeah, do you not worry about Richarlison stealing minutes from a front three that was firing on all cylinders at the end of last season?
I do a little bit. I do, because it was that top three that made us catapult into the top four.
Yeah, it was that that front three that gave me nightmares every weekend. True.
But we saw little action. You know Conte's wing back system, and we saw little action from Emerson Royale. We did see a lot of input when Doherty was fine and playing, not injured. He went through a game at like 6 goal involvements in 6 games or something, and he was playing well. But I can see Kulusevski being put back there, as Conte does like his wing backs to play forward, a lot of finishing. And if you watch the games, Doherty and Sessegnon do tend to miss a lot of opportunities and a lot of chances that could be the deciding factors as well. So I think that's a large reason why he's brought in Perisic to play, and he's brought in Richarlison to play right wing, but then just put Kulusevski back.
So in that sense, do you think that there's scope for you guys to continue improving in terms of your attacking numbers with a Kulusevski behind Richarlison situation?
Yeah, I do, because I feel like regardless of Richarlison coming in, I feel like Kulusevski can get the minutes or the numbers elsewhere. If you look at his numbers as well, they're mostly assists.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple passes that
Cross
for
the
some
box,
reason,
yeah.
players like Lucas Moura don't see or just can't play.
Yeah.
So I feel like even at the right wing back positions, you've seen it when we were playing Man City. He makes that nice cross in the last minute across to the Kane header.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that can be done from right wing back. So, but 3 goals in half a season from a winger then isn't the best. So, with having Richarlison there, hopefully that's the goal aspect then clearing up. Yeah.
So, earlier on, you were full of praise for Bissouma and his impact that he had on that Brighton team last season. So my question to you might be, are you not confident enough with the acquisition of that signing that you can pip Chelsea to that third position or Liverpool to that third position in your table? Why Tottenham fourth and not higher?
It's one of those. Bissouma in a worse team looked like a hero. It was a big fish in a small pond over at Brighton. Whereas now I'm a bit scared he's going to be a small fish in a big pond, and it's going to be he might get left behind if he doesn't come in and do instant impacts. I'm not sure. His numbers are obviously really good, but it was never a signing I was openly pushing for.
Which again blows my mind. I think everyone should have been pushing for him. You just spoke about numbers.
Yeah.
You spoke about numbers. He had better numbers than all of your midfield.
And do you know what as well? See, if you went to a different team, I'd be scared. But it's I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a signing I didn't expect. So it was a sort of I've not planned for it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, right. Well, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, to be honest.
I think he'll play pretty much every league game. To be fair, I think he'll be. We've obviously got a lot of midfielders now and easy rotational players because we've got Bissouma, Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Ollie Skip. That'll all be getting minutes somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we'll see the combination of like Bissouma and Bentancur in the league, and then Højbjerg and Skip in like cup games, or they might play in the league if we've got then like a harder UCL game during the week.
Okay, so
where,
you
like,
think Højbjerg will be the third choice in that setup, in that paradigm?
Yeah, I mean Bissouma and Højbjerg are basically the same player, except Bissouma I think can move the ball a bit quicker. He's a better dribbler. He's got better numbers for passing forward. He gets more assists, more goals. So I think he'll replace him. And then I feel like Bentancur, he's like sort of like a Moussa Dembele replacement, where he's quite tough on the ball. Doesn't give it away very much. So I think that would work quite well.
Careful, everything's purposeful on the ball. At least from what I've seen with Bentancur, I was really impressed with him last season. I would maybe challenge you on the idea of Bissouma being, and the idea that he got more assists, more goals last season. I don't think you can really extrapolate that into this Conte team, because at the end of the day, you guys are a counter-attacking side, whereas Brighton were more of a possession-based side.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking as well. He'll get more numbers through just more instinct passes. You know. If he's got more possession with Brighton, I feel like he'll be able to find a pass better as well.
Yeah, you think it'll be more? Yeah, you think there'll be a better quality to his distribution than maybe Højbjerg?
Yeah, these players are great to have for the bench as well. Like I was saying with Kulusevski and Perisic on the wing, they aren't defenders, so I can see them playing in games where the team's going to sit back. So like if we were due to come up and play Everton, Everton are going to sit back. Everton aren't going to attack us as much. So players like Kulusevski, who have got that better pass, better shooting, better attacking position, will play. Whereas like if we came up for a game against like a Liverpool or Chelsea, I can see Sessegnon and Jed Spence getting the game, whereas they're a bit more defensive but they're still attacking.
With regards to your Chelsea and Liverpool positions then, how come you think Liverpool are going to have this drop off? What do you see there? I'd imagine that the letting go of Mane is a huge factor in this, but what have you seen that's convinced you that Liverpool are not going to stay in that duopoly at the top of the league this season?
I was thinking about this the other day. I think it's the lack of goals that worries me.
The lack of Liverpool goals?
Yeah.
this Liverpool side
Yeah.
that always
Yeah.
provide these numbers, these incredible attacking numbers. Well, where do you think these goals are going to not come from?
I feel like the replacements in for Sadio Mane are decent, not excellent, but I feel like there's just not enough goals in them at this stage. Not to say that they won't be good in 2-3 seasons time, but I can't see it next season being the best attack in the league as it was always claimed to be.
Okay, so
the signing of Luis Diaz was good towards the centre, winter window last season, and then since he's joined, they scored 4 in about 13 games.
yeah,
I don't feel like the numbers are going to be there. That's the thing. Like, these players are meant to come in and help pick up for the slack Mane's going to leave behind. I mean,
4
the
4 and
midfield
13 is not bad.
I know, but Mane's like
Mane's
14
Mane.
games. How many does Mane get?
He has hot and cold
9.
streaks, I feel, but yeah, probably around your 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
If he has hot and cold streaks, his cold streak would be 4 goals. His cold streak would be Luis Diaz, whereas like his hot streak would be like in 14 games he'd get like 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have higher hopes for how Diaz performs. I certainly think that Diaz will prove to be a more exciting player to watch this season than Nunez. Maybe Nunez will come good in future seasons, but I don't think Nunez is going to hit the ground running, whereas I do foresee Diaz picking up the mantle of Mane. I think that can happen.
Do you think Luis Diaz, if you're backing Nunez not to be as good and not hit the ground running, do you foresee Luis Diaz picking up the same numbers as Mane enough to finish second?
I certainly... Well, I would turn that question back to you, and I would ask, what did Chelsea have that makes you convinced that they can score a greater number of goals than Liverpool?
So the difference I seen was, if we look at both teams from last season,
This is... Hold on, wait.
Weekend.
Just assuming that Chelsea is your second place team, not Man City, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
I think we'll just say it now. We have both put Man City top of the league.
Yeah, and I've put Liverpool second, you've put Chelsea second, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Looking at both teams between Chelsea and Liverpool, Liverpool have weakened, and I wouldn't say signed suitable replacements to help provide the same cover. So fair enough if they'd buy like a better centre mid who can chip in with goals, but that is just a big gap for them at the minute as well. Like for every good team, you see like De Bruyne chipping in from midfield. Even Mason Mount was top scorer for Chelsea last season. He chips in from midfield. Liverpool don't have that, so if they did sign someone in between now, season starting or window closing, then yeah, I could maybe see if someone is going to help pick up the mantle from midfield, because we don't see much goals from them. It was mostly the front three that would take it.
Now, again, I would maybe fight you on this one. Seems like I'm just being contradictory for the point of it, but I do think Thiago offers a dimension.
Thiago's not good enough for that.
Thiago offers a dimension that De Bruyne also offers, but Thiago isn't there to provide that last pass. Thiago is there to spread the ball to a Trent, to a Robbo, who then provide that last pass into the middle for the front three, like you said.
Yeah, but Mane's not. But the quality of Mane isn't there to finish it anymore. The quality of finishing has drastically reduced. I'm not saying Luis Diaz is a bad player, because he is super good and he's skillful as anything, but his shooting is just so undesirable.
It seems somewhat erratic, yeah.
Yeah, they've signed 2 Alan St. Maximans. They're great, but they're not going to finish their chances. These players are good. Thiago Alcantara got 1 goal last season.
Now, what if... Yeah, I hear you on the Thiago point. I don't think it invalidates mine, but I hear your idea. What if I were to say to you, or to bring up, the January period where Diogo Jota was enough to lead that line when Salah and Mane weren't there, and continue their push for to challenge City? Do you not think that Jota, with Salah and Diaz and Nunez to come off the bench, or, well, he shouldn't be a bench player, but I think he will at first, for the first maybe month or two.
I do.
Yeah.
I do believe that Jota has what it takes, but I don't know how much minutes he's going to get.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, is he now the nailed-on starter that Mane's left? Is he taking the left mid position?
I think...
Is he going to be playing up front and Luis Diaz going to play more, and then that £100 million is just going to sit on the bench? I don't know.
I think he'll take up I think in your mind, what you think Smith Rowe and Martinelli are as a partnership is what we'll see Nunez and Jota be as a partnership. Now, that's to say, I don't think that Martinelli is in any way going to be a super sub. I think he earned that position last season, even though Smith Rowe did well at the start. But yeah, I think you're going to see these numbers shared between Jota and Nunez.
But I sadly see that the price tag playing on Nunez destroy Klopp a little bit.
Nah, because Klopp's not like that.
Oh, you've signed this £100 million player. Why is he not starting? I mean, everyone's giving it tight to Man City for the same acquisition of Jack Grealish. He doesn't play. What's the point in signing him for £100 million? So I can still, even though he was one of their best players last season, I don't see Jota starting.
But the people in your argument, the people that said, "Oh, Jack Grealish was a waste of 100 million," at the end of the day, City won the title. So even though he might not have played a key role, he was still there. And I don't think Pep will worry much about that 100 million being wasted. Just like I don't think Klopp would worry that Nunez's price tag would factor into his first 11 choices.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
We'll have to see.
I just don't. So the difference. So going back to the question, sorry. I don't see the difference between the difference I do see between Chelsea and Liverpool is Chelsea finished where they did last season, and then they've spotted their problem. No one, the one person that actively wanted to leave was the issue at the club. True.
I don't know about the issue, but certainly an issue. Yes.
One big issue.
Yeah.
Whereas now I see Chelsea have gone out and then strengthened after that signing Sterling. Obviously, a lot of their defenders are gone. They're talking about signing Ake. They've already secured the signing of Koulibaly. I would say that's an upgrade in defence as well. I feel like Koulibaly's better than Rudiger. Thiago Silva's still there. They've still at this minute got Azpilicueta, who did play last season as well. So the defence is kind of the same style. But that big problem of they can't really score goals hasn't been sorted, but it's definitely been helped towards, I think.
Okay.
Raheem Sterling will score 15 next season.
And just for context, Mason Mount was the top scorer last season with 11. Do you think that Mason Mount plus Sterling is enough to topple Salah plus anyone in terms of numbers of goals? Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I disagree, but I respect you're allowed to have wrong opinions. That's fine.
I just think Sterling's looked over so much. I think when you look back, it is like 3 or 4 seasons ago when he was 2019-20 season, he scored 20 in the league. If he can pick up that with those minutes, then I think he'll score 20 again next season. I think that Sterling and Mount could score more than Salah and Diaz.
I think I want some of what you're smoking. I think that's ridiculous. I just don't rate Diaz that much. I just don't think his finishing ability is there.
Well,
Whereas
I feel like Mount will easily outscore Diaz, even though Salah will easily outscore Sterling.
Let me explain to you what I see as the difference here. I don't see Sterling or Mount as a match winner. I just don't. I don't see them as players that can win a match on their own. Salah can, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think Chelsea have enough going forward to even finish ahead of you guys. That's why I've got them 4th in my list. Even with their acquisition of Koulibaly and Raheem Sterling, I just don't think that there are enough goals in that side to really see them push anywhere near City. But I don't think either of us think that these teams are going to be near City, do we?
I think Sterling has it. I think personally, I do think Sterling has that match winning ability. We saw it when they were in, Champions League. They almost beat Tottenham in Champions League. He was there at the last minute to knock us out.
3 or 4 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this is the Sterling we're looking back to. The Sterling, ever since that season, he's progressively got less minutes on the pitch. I just think he's not been given his chance. Pep's unfairly shunted him out but it's his choice, obviously. I think he still just does deserve to be a top player at a top club. I think that
I agree. I'm not saying he
given a
doesn't.
chance, he could be just as good as Mane or Salah.
Okay. No, I think we draw a line there. That's lunacy that I will not pedal.
Okay, yeah, maybe not Salah level, but I don't see why he can't get to the same level as like Heung-min Son.
Son is the Salah level. What are you talking about? No, Sterling,
He's
Sterling, and Jesus are two peas in the same pod.
No, they're not. Sterling's so much better than Jesus. When has Jesus ever scored 20 a season?
Jesus hasn't scored 15 in a season, so stop you right there.
What's Raheem Sterling's bad season?
Raheem Sterling's
10, I guess.
Raheem Sterling and Jesus both have had numbers that have been inflated because of the teams that they're playing in. I think you'll see Chelsea not providing with nearly enough, well, not enough chances, but nearly the same chances that he did get at City.
I feel like even though he was playing, he'll get those goals at City, but I feel like he'll match the amount of goals because he'll be given more game time at Chelsea. Like, he was just not playing as much as he would like, or as like the fans would like to see him. You've seen Riyad Mahrez getting a start over him,
which I think is fair, right? Mahrez is a far better player than Sterling, right?
I wouldn't say far. I'd say they're pretty much the same standard.
Okay.
But I can see why he does prefer Mahrez because he just suits the system better. Sterling's more of that running behind, out of possession type of player.
He loves a tap-in though, Sterling.
Whereas,
he's got good positional sense, I think.
Whereas, like I was saying with Tottenham, I feel like if you're playing a team that sits back more, you play Mahrez because he's able to get a better shot off,
unlock
find
defenses,
the top corner outside the box. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas, like if you're playing a team that's kind of pushing on you more, counter attacking, I feel like Sterling's that player.
Exploit that space behind.
With Man
100%.
City, yeah, but with Man City, you're never going to be on the back foot as much.
With Chelsea, are you going to be?
Yeah, I could see that. Well, not. I could definitely see it because Man City keep the most possession in the league, but I do see the chance of Sterling to run in more. I mean, we saw the chances Werner gets. Is Sterling just an English Werner?
Honestly, you might disagree, but I think that is an apt comparison. I think Sterling might be an English Werner.
Nah, Sterling scores more. Sterling scores more. Come on.
I remember how excited you were about Werner coming to the league, or not excited, but scared. You really rated him. I swear you thought he was going to be top scorer or something when he came.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I think Werner's last season at Leipzig, he scored 35 league goals, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's ridiculous. That's not Thomas Miller, that is Lewandowski levels.
Mm-hmm. And then we saw him come to a league that was more demanding. Maybe not technically much better, but more demanding physically.
Yeah, but I don't see why he couldn't.
And he dropped off.
Pick it up. Yeah, like I still think it's there. I just think you see his movement on and off the pitch, or off the pitch. Sorry, on the ball. Sorry, on and off the ball.
His movement off the
It's
pitch.
still there.
Oh, you seen him in the club on a Friday night? He's banging. Got them moves.
Like his movement's there. It's just his final product, and I don't see where it's gone.
And you don't think that Sterling has ever struggled with final product? Be honest.
He has, but not as much.
Okay, that's fair. That's reasonable. That's a measured opinion. It's a take that's not disgusting to my ears.
Is this another bet going in the video? Who will score more next season?
Sure. I think it has to be. I think we'll also leave it to the people watching the video. Who do they think is the more prolific finisher, Sterling or Salah? Let's see.
Come on, that's not what I said.
Light him up. He deserves it.
Who's going to score more? Gabriel Jesus or Raheem Sterling?
I think Gabriel Jesus will score more. I think Jesus will score more.
You think Jesus will score more?
I think we'll see Jesus
Raheem
score.
Sterling.
I think we'll see Jesus score 16, 17 goals. We'll see Sterling score 14, 15. It won't be a lot in it, but yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I'll still say that Sterling scores more.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see
Chelsea
how that
just-
plays out.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
we both think, regardless of where we've put Liverpool, we both think that neither of us think that Liverpool will come close to taking the crown off of Man City this season. Now, I have my reasons for why I believe this to be the case, and I think we probably share them, and they're not uncommon. So, tell me, why do you think City have this in the bag this year?
Oh, it's just Haaland, isn't it?
They've taken one of the best teams in the world with no striker, and then they've bought like the best striker in the world, or one of them, to come and just plonk in the middle, right at the top, to spear that attack. It's disgusting. I think it should be illegal.
Yeah.
I think it should be illegal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Until you've seen them win the league without playing pretty much De Bruyne at a striker at times, or like a false nine system, where Mahrez would cut in, but adding Haaland up to that attack, it's just ridiculous.
Right. This is maybe that's probably an uninteresting conversation to have, because everyone thinks that Haaland is going to do well. So let me ask you this instead: can you see a world in which Haaland does not do well?
No. I think that's the problem. I think that's why everyone's just kind of writing the league off.
Yeah.
Haaland scored goals wherever he goes, no matter how much of the underdog the team he is.
I can't think of a scenario either myself where he doesn't at least score 25 goals. I think that's a minimum.
Yeah, like if you look at his numbers, right, he scored 16 goals in this 17 goals in the 16 games he played for Salzburg. Who, yes, I'll grant, are usually top of the league. Dortmund, at the time he joined, were struggling. They weren't close to the league title. They weren't challenging at all for the league, like I said, sorry. And they were falling behind teams like Leverkusen. But he scored 62 goals in 67 games. So I feel like he just can't put much foot wrong when you're going to play for a team that is comfortably going to be top of the league. Or even if you look at what might be his biggest fight is his international, because Norway didn't qualify for the World Cup. They're not the best side. They don't keep much of the ball, and they do get battered a little bit. But even at that, he's still scored 20 goals in 21 games. He keeps a pretty much 1 goal 1 game ratio, despite being an underdog team.
I think the thing that you're getting at here is that at every single level Haaland has ever played, he's excelled. There's not been a single exception to that rule. Champions League, international, club level, he's smashed it in every region, and he's only 21, 22?
Yep, 21. Maybe by the time this video comes out, he might be 22.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I have a couple of stats here to really put into perspective his quality as a finisher. You might not need the stats, but they're fun to ponder over nevertheless. So, Haaland last season, this is just last season, Haaland had a shot to goal conversion rate of 52%. Over half of the shots he took ended up in goals. Now, in case you're not aware of how incredible this statistic is, let's take a look at Jesus's shot to goal conversion rate. In fact, no, let's not, because I don't want to embarrass him. Instead, let's look at his shot to shot on target rate, which is 56.8%. For every shot Jesus gets on target, Haaland scores. Well, just about. What is that? That's ridiculous.
That is very ridiculous.
If Jesus does get, like I said, 16, 17, with those statistics in mind, it's not unreasonable to say that Haaland could break 30.
Well, that's the thing. If we're saying Haaland scores one every, 57%?
52.
52% of all his shots. So pretty much one shot in two
Is a
at
goal.
the teams he's been at is a goal.
Ridiculous.
And he's now joined a team that'll take about 15 shots a game.
Yeah, he's joined a team that will give him 10 times the chances. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I think there's no comparison. So going back to your question, I don't see a world where he doesn't hit the ground running and score.
And this, I think we could talk forever about City and how much we think they're going to dominate this league. I think it could be over. Mm-hmm. It could be over in February, March time. It could be that much of a landslide.
Is this another Centurions? Do you see them hitting 100 points again?
Potentially. I don't think, comparing them to that side, that Centurion side, I don't think there's a position in the pitch where they're weaker.
Yeah.
And I can certainly say that as a goal scoring outfit, they're stronger.
Yeah.
I would say. So
I think it's not fair to write them out of the conversation for another Centurions.
I do think though that Liverpool will still plug away. I don't think they're going to have the drop off that you do. I think Tottenham will be a force to be reckoned with this season. So I don't know if they'll reach if they'll be as successful as the Centurions this time around, but I think it will be dominant in terms of display, if not points, against the rest of the league. Right, guys, so that's as discussed, I'd say, the main areas of interest for people that want to see predictions, table predictions. We've got our relegation covered, we've got our top sevens covered as well. Now, I don't know about you, Cameron, but for the middle of the table, it kind of could have gone either way for most of these teams. I kind of just placed them based on kind of educated guesses, but also at the end of the day, it could be one higher, one lower for most of these teams. Were you much of the same?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the teams in the middle of the league nowadays are just so tight compared to what they used to be. You could easily kind of identify relegation candidates, and there was a few of them as well. If you used to look at older tables, you could see, any one of these 6 teams could go down. Whereas now it's kind of, these two are kind of spelt out in the stars, and the rest of them are kind of just mid-table teams. So it is very tight, and a lot of my decisions were kind of just based off of, this is the last team I've got left, and this is the last position I've got left.
Yeah. Also, I would say that, to add to your point, the quality of the football in the Premier League has risen to such a degree that anyone really can beat anyone, as cliche as that is to say, maybe apart from like Man City. But and that is especially true where coaches are concerned. The gulf in class between managers seems to be shrinking because there's such a great range of talented coaches and managers in the Premier League now.
Yeah, for sure. You see these people. Obviously, Graham Potter's a good manager. Even for the likes of, it's almost like any manager could be next in line for a big job as long as you're in the Premier League. We saw Pochettino coming from Southampton to Tottenham to PSG of all teams. I mean, that's a meteoric leap. Who'd have thought that when they first started at Southampton? So yeah, there's definitely been a big increase, but that comes with the finances that are in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've ended up in this position where our league tables, I'll have them on the screen now, but Cameron, if you just wanted, before we close off this video, give me a rundown of your full league table from 20th to 1st place, please.
Yep, so I've gone for in 20th Bournemouth, 19th Brentford, 18th Forest, 17th Fulham, 16th Leeds, 15th Everton, 14th Southampton, 13th Brighton, 12th Palace, 11th Wolves, 10th Newcastle, 9th Leicester, 8th Villa, 7th West Ham, 6th Arsenal, 5th United, 4th Tottenham, 3rd Liverpool, 2nd Chelsea, and to win the league, Man City.
Okay, right. Good stuff. And I have gone with Bournemouth in last position, 19th with Leeds, Forest ahead of them, then Fulham, Brentford, Southampton, Everton, Palace, Leicester, now that's dependent on whether or not Brendan can get his head out his arse, 11th Newcastle, Brighton in 10th, Villa 9th, Wolves, West Ham, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool and City to win the league comprehensively. Okay folks, so that is everything as far as our Premier League table predictions are concerned. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us in the future on this channel, on Cam and Dan Fancam, I can promise you that. Please do us the honour of hitting that subscribe button and, staying tuned for that free premium content that will be coming to your subscription feed.
Perfect, thank you for watching guys, and we'll see you next time.
Whoa, slow your roll there, we're not gone just yet, because there's one small thing we forgot to mention. Now, you may have noticed at the start of this video that there was a little message, a little notice at the bottom telling you about our Fantasy Premier League that we've started for you guys to join free of charge. Now, it should be noted there are some cash prizes to be won, so while it's free entry, you have the chance to win £100 cash for first place, £50 for second place, and £25 for third place. Not life-changing money, but you know what? Better to have it than not, right? So, if you want to join that, the code will be on the screen now, and we'd love to have you. Also, do be sure to stay tuned to this channel for regular updates about how that league is progressing. Till the next time, guys, see you later.